Hi everybody, welcome to 2OG Sewing and Stitching, Island Style. As you can see, this looks a little different than when you're used to seeing me. So I'm going to camera around. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to do some blocking. Now I have a sweater that's already been soaked and rinsed and wrung out, and that is going to be a wet block. I've got two more pieces up soaking that I'll be going up to get, that I will be putting into this video too, to show you the difference between just a wet block and a steam block. And the tools needed: I have a 4x8 sheet of plywood set up on my horses down here in my basement, which is going to be my family room eventually. As you can see, all the construction stuff sitting there waiting. What I'm going to be using is, there's my steamer, my blocking pins, and some T-pins, and then because I have so many things to block, I've got some quilting pins here that I also use. I'm going to be using all those, and for the shawl, my submerged shawl, I have blocking wires. And I'm going to show you each piece and how I block. I'm going to be setting you up on my gimbal there and put it on the table so you can watch me block. And I'll try to talk and make it loud enough so you can hear it, so I can tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I'm going to stop the video here and get things set up. Okay. Now on this here, to make sure I'm in camera here. Okay. This is a sweater that is an acrylic wool blend. Now you cannot steam steam block 100% wool. You can do a light steam block on an acrylic wool blend. So I'm just going to push this out to my shape that I want. Okay, you put it out and you block it. I'm just going to move it down here a little bit because I got two big things I got to put out. And then I'll put a few pins in it. And then it's just going to stay down here and dry. But you just pull out where you want your garment or whatever you're blocking to be. You just kind of press it out where you want it, and it's going to dry where you put it. I put just a few pins in just to help secure and keep my lines straight. You can't excuse me, you can reblock your garments if you wash them. Now this, I don't put my hand knits or crochets in the washing machine. I just don't do it. I spend too much time. Now this was a gift given to me that had to be blocked. She didn't have time to block it, so I'm blocking it. So I thought, well, I'd bring you down here and block it with you. So I'm just working my sweater out here. It's a beautiful sweater, beautiful yarn, so I can wear this. And like I said, this is an acrylic wool blend. All I do is I put some warm tepid water and some lavender wool light wool wash, and I soak it for about an hour, and then you rinse it gently. You do not wring it. You just take and you just squeeze like this, and then I put it in a towel, roll the towel, and just keep pushing to get most of the water out. Now down here I have a heat pump, so it'll help dry this, but this will take a day or so to dry because it is heavy. It's a wool blend. So like I said, I'm just pulling it out and blocking it. Now I'm going to pull it out enough, and then I'm going to pin the sides. I'm going to take my pins here, and I'm just going to pin the sides just in a few places. And you take your pin and you go at an angle and just ever so slightly push in to block it. And then you just let it lay here to dry. Now when I was rinsing this, it had some color bleed out of the green, so I have it over here on some, I have some towels I keep just for blocking. Most of the time I use my blocking mats But for this here, because it's a wet block, and I have to do the submerged shawl, and I have to do the sweater scarf wrapped in cozy and cables, and they're both long pieces, so that's what I'll be using my blocking boards for. So once I get it completely done, I will show you how it looks. But I'm just going to finish this last pin here, and I'm going to show you the one side. I just got to pick the gimbal up to show you. And it takes time. Blocking is not something that is done quick. Okay? You got to take your time and check your measurements. If you've got a pattern that's got specific measurements, and you block out to your measurements. Like I said, in a garment, that's what you do. So I'm going to stop the video here for a minute. Okay, so there it is, pinned out. And if you... Hi everybody. Okay, I'm back with we're going to block the submerged shawl. And I'm going to show you how I set up my blocking boards. I will block it. The other one's sitting in there in the towel. I got to finish drying it off. So this is 100% acrylic. This is Premier's Bloom in the colorway Morning Glory. So this is my submerged shawl. It has some drop stitches in it, which means I got to open up the stitches. So I'm going to turn you around and show you how I set this up. Okay. Now, I'm going to grab some blocking boards. And you put your blocking boards together. It's just like putting a puzzle together. I'll put my blocking boards. Sorry, I'm trying not to make this two motion. Just kind of shrink it down a little bit. Okay, might be a little bit better, easier if you see. So I'm going to put the blocking boards together. Now this is a long, narrow shawl. So how I set my boards up, I set them up this way first, and then I will see how many wide I need to go on the... So I'll get my shawl like this, because this kind of angles around. It's got a small point here, and then we got to angle this. Okay, so we'll take this one up here. I'm just going to move some of this stuff out of the way. And put this over here. And then we'll be able to bring this to here. And I'll turn you a little bit this way. And you'll see how I come around with this, because this is going to be stretched out a lot to block it open. And then this will come around like this. So I'm going to have to put some more blocking boards here. Now my blocking boards all don't interlock together, but I put them up close enough because they're three manufacturers. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Let me move these out of the way, because the other side there, when I finish this, I'll slide this over, and then I'll do the other one. The other one's a lot longer. It'll go all the way down that way. So then this here, this is all part of it, just laying it out. So I need to put another one here. And it's okay if I go over top of my sweater. Like this. I'll pull that up this way, pull this out this way, pull this over this way. Okay. So then I will begin the pinning. I'm just going to move this like this because of the way this is made. I'm just going to adjust mine. So now on this, I'm going to use my blocking wires. Okay, turn you around. These are my blocking wires, and there's some in here that are flexible. Sorry about that light overhead there. Ooh, if I can get it out. Oh, okay. These are blocking wires. I've showed these before, but there are some in here. This one here is flexible, and it bends, and that's what I need. That one, I think there's one more in here that bends. Yes. To the bend, and we'll pull one out for good measure for this, because I'll be using the other ones on my cable saw. So, turn you around. I hit the off button. Here around. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of turn you this way. And how this starts is I begin up here like this, and I will feed this through the edge and around. So I'm going to shut the camera off a little bit because this takes me a little bit of time, and then I'll come back. I'll come back on. Okay, what I'm doing now is I am pinning out the upper part here. I'm just going to turn you a little bit here so you can see me pinning it out. Kind of pull it in a little bit. Okay. And I'm just opening up. Excuse me. I'll pull you up over here. If you look, you can see where the drop stitches are. I'm just opening up the drop stitches. Excuse me. And this is very painstaking because you go a little bit at a time, pin by pin. And I'm doing like this section here. And then I got to put the other wire in. But right now, this shawl has drop stitches and cables. So I'm opening everything up, and then I will end up steaming it. I will end up steaming it. So I'll turn it a little bit here. I've got my pins. Now this is the end where the wire's at, and this wire is flexible, so I'll be bending this wire as I do this, so I can open up all of my cables and all of my drop stitches. Now when you're doing this, I put my pin in at an angle this way, like almost like a 45-degree angle, and I just do a little. I'll do a little section at a time, and then I'll go to the other side and I'll block it out, and I'm just pinning in strategic points like at the end of my cables and my drop stitches, because this will be getting steamed because it's acrylic, and it will lock my stitches in. Like I said, this I've done baby blankets and stuff. It takes time to do this, but anything worth doing is doing right? So I'll do a couple more here, and then I'll move on to the other side, and then just work my way around the shawl. Now spin you here. Now I've got this much done of the shawl. And I had to put another pin over here. So I'm just going to show you what I got pinned down so far. Okay, so you can see how I have it pinned out. You see the cables? Now right here, these aren't a real wide drop stitch. Some of my stitches didn't drop in this, but that's okay, I can deal with it. But that's what I've got pinned out so far. And right here, you can see the edge of the blocking wire. So let me put you there. And we'll come on this side and we'll block. And I'm just pulling a little bit. If you look where my pins are at, I'm just pulling on it a little bit. And I take a pin and I put it in. I go in this way here and I just push it in that way. And then I'll move down here and I'll pull this, grab a couple more pins. And what this is doing is holding my wire in place. I love working with blocking wires. It actually makes less pinning. Okay, so we're at the end of it, where this wire is at. So now we're going to put in the next wire. Okay. This wire here is going to be a straight wire, because the other bend wire is going to go, if you look, there's a curve in the shawl right there, and that's where the next bending wire is going to go. But this one here, I'm going to start from this end here, and I'm going to feed it through. And it's just on the end of catching a few stitches. And you just can't use any wire for your blocking. You get yourself good lace blocking wires. They're not real expensive. I got these off Amazon. You don't want anything that's going to rust onto your garment. And I just run this through the edge. Feed some more. It's just, like I said, it's just a little bit at a time, making sure I grab my cable at the bottom. And I just keep feeding it through until I get to the other side. I jump over top of my drop stitches. And I just basically, you're just like weaving it through your ends, your outside stitches. Blocking wires are great for shawls, but they're also good for sweaters, especially if you've got a lot of straight edges. When I do a sweater, sometimes I block my pieces before I put them together. Makes it easier, makes your seams a lot easier, a lot straighter. I'm going to find the cable. Okay, there's my cable. I'm almost to the other end. I'll bring it down here so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just about to the end, and then I'll show you an overall look of what it looks like. And I'm going to show you the edge here that I did. Excuse me. It was the part that was giving me so much trouble on this pattern. That's why it took me so long to finish this off. I was just having so much difficulty doing the edging. It was a drop butterfly stitch, which I've got to open up my butterflies. Okay, I've reached the end over here. I can pull my wire through a little bit. Okay. Now, if you look, you can see the wire running down here. So I'm just gonna put you here. I'm gonna turn you down a little bit this way. It's not cooperating with me. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tilt this down so you can see what I'm doing. So, for now, zoom out there. and I'm going to pin this part of the wire. So I get, ouch! Poked myself. So pull this out here, and all I'm doing is pinning my wire in place and pulling as I do it, so it opens up my stitches, because I still have to go to this side, and then this will be pulled out also, but I'll be doing that with the flexible wire. And you just keep readjusting as you do it. And this is how I block. I mean, you may have a different way of blocking, but it's always worked for me. And ouch! I keep stabbing myself. I'll just turn you a little bit here. See, I'm coming down the end here. So I'm going to give you a close-up of what I was talking about. What gave me so much trouble was the butterfly drop stitch. So I've got to pin those. I got to pin this out. I may have to put another couple of blocking mats over there. And we'll pull this corner out here. And we will put her right here. One there, and I'm going to put one on the point. There. Okay. So what you can see, I'm going to turn you around, ivory mug. And I'm going to just take you down here, and you can see how I have it pinned, and it keeps the edge nice and straight, and it's opened up all the stitches. Okay? Now this section in here, for some reason, this little section, I must have missed a stitch or something, and these stitches didn't drop. But that's okay. They dropped up here, and they dropped on the other side. I'm going to have to put some more blocking mats out. But that's what I've got done so far. Now, over here, I was talking about the butterfly drop stitch. If you look here, you'll see here, once I pin this out, it looks like a butterfly. That's a butterfly drop stitch, and it's all the way down this cord here. It's a cable with an I-cord bind off with butterfly drop stitch. That's why it took me so many times of ripping it. So I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and finish pinning this out, and then once I finish pinning it out, I will show you, for time's sake, what it looks like. And then I still have to do my cable sweater shawl. I'll get some of it laid out. I'll lay it out, show you it, and then I'll pin some of it, and then we'll call it good on the video so it's not too long. All right? I'll be back. Okay, submerged. She's all pinned out. If you look, you can see all the cables, the drop stitches, and then right along here, there's the butterflies. Right here's a butterfly. Butterfly. They all go all the way down. But that is submerged. Alright, the next part of the video I will be doing is I'll be showing you the good morning, everybody. Well, it's the next day, and I'm down here. I had to work last night. I worked a 12-hour shift. And I'm going to be working indefinitely at a full-time position. Could be 2 weeks, could be 2 months. I don't know. But anyways, I want to finish this blocking video. As you can see, everything here has been pinned and allowed to dry overnight. Now on the shawl and on the sweater scarf, I'm going to put a steam in because it's acrylic. The steam locks your stitches in. The main reason to block out these two pieces was to open up the pattern. On the sweater scarf, you can see the cable and the middle leaf pattern. So that's why I am steaming this one. On the submerged shawl, which you can get the pattern in Lindsay Luchek of Knit Eco Chic Designs, Take the Plunge book. It's available on Amazon. It's got some great patterns in it. Anyways, because of the drop stitches, the cables, and up the other end there, the butterflies on the I-cord bind off. That was the edge I bound off on. You started it down here, and you worked that way. So, I believe the steamer is ready. This is what I use. I got this on Amazon. It was less than $50 Canadian, and it's got a bunch of attachments, and it's a great steamer. I used to use my iron, but this was a good investment. So, I'm going to show you how I steam. Let's see if I can turn this a little bit. Show you how I steam. Okay. You never get too close when you're steaming. I keep mine about that far away, and you just come down and you just steam. I steam along my edge first. I do a small section at a time. And then I come back up here and I steam the other part. This will, basically it's called killing the acrylic. It doesn't kill it. I mean, if you did this on wool, you could possibly felt it. Wool, 100% wool does not like hot. So I just come like this, and I'm just going to continue. I'll put this here so you can watch as I steam. And it's a slow process. Just take your time. Don't rush it. Like you're blocking. It's all ties into your finished project and getting it that crisp, finished look. And I pretty much steam everything, even my acrylics. I steam everything. Like I said, it just takes time. If I want to do a hat, I'll put it on my mannequin head and steam it, or depending if it has a pattern, I'll pin it out and then steam it. Then I'm just going along this edge here where the butterflies are at, and I'll go up to here, and I just come back down. You're just doing a little section at a time, like just the width of the head of the steamer, which is maybe 3 inches. And I'm just doing little sections at a time. Now watch your pins. And this is great, especially for making nice crisp seams when you've done a garment. It makes it looks almost as if it's been pressed by an iron. Just gives that finished look. I'm almost done with this piece, and then we'll move on to Cozy and Cables, Wrapped in Cables Sweater Scarf by Chantal of Knititude. These are both knit projects. Okay, I think I got a good steam on that one. Now I'm going to move you over to here. Let's just go for a little walk around here. You can see my Christmas decorations still in the basement. I haven't put them in storage yet. I'm going to try to put you here for now, and then I'll spin you as I'm going down. So I'm just giving the cuff, because it's hanging over, I'm just giving the cuff a quick steam. And now I'm going to begin to go up. I'll just go up far enough I can reach with my arms, and then I'll step around the table. And then this will be left down here to dry. And I may give it a second steam. A lot of times I will give it a second steam. How you know if it took well is you take a few of your pins out and see if it stays into place. Now once you steam an acrylic piece, it pretty much stays. When you have a wool or a mainly wool blend and you're just doing a wet block on it, you may you may have to reblock it time to time when you wash it. Get my cables here on the end. I'm just going to bring you up over here. And if you watch as I'm steaming, a lot of times you can actually see it opening up the stitches. And this is all I do. I just come like that. Alright. I'm going to put you down here so you can see me as I block the rest of it. I'll have to move to the other side to do my extension cord was caught. I'll have to, I'm going around lumber. I have a lumber pile here. So I'll go up this way. This is just plain tap water I have in here. But the steamer's not a bad investment. Like I said, I paid less than $50 Canadian for this, and I've had it, maybe 2-3 years. Gets a lot of excuse me, gets a lot of use. Like I said, it's just a slow process. Just take your time. But it's definitely worth it in the end. I think so anyways. The yarn that I used for the shawl was Premier's Sweet Roll in the Gelato Pop. And it's 100% acrylic, but it's a nice yarn to work with. I've never worked it before. And actually I like the yarn. It's very nice to work with. The submerged shawl was done in Premier's Bloom. And I loved how the pattern worked out. That was, I believe, Morning Glory that I used. I tried to get some more of it, but I haven't been able to get any more of it. But I have a whole bunch of Bloom Premier. I found that knitting is best for the Bloom, as is the Nordica. Any of the pattern I find does better with the knitting to really get the pattern to come out right. Okay, we're just about done with this section here. And then we're going to move on to the last section. I've got to go around the other end of the table. This thing's over 8 feet long from cuff to cuff. So, as you can see, the sweaters those are over top of the sweater because of the steaming I have to do here, so the steam does not hit. I'll stop you one moment. Okay, I had to stop and refill the reservoir on the steamer here. So I'll put you here. Oops, ran over some pins. I'll put you here so you can watch the last section I have here. Give the cuff a quick steam. They're hanging over the edges because, I mean, this is 8 foot long. Well, we're looking at 9 foot for this sweater scarf. So I'm just doing the last section here. And then it'll be let to dry, and I'll come back tomorrow, because I'm off tomorrow, and see if it took or if I need to do another steam. And that will do it. So I'll shut the steamer off. So there you go. There's the 3 pieces that are blocking. And you'll just love my hairdo. It's crazy. I haven't got to work tonight, so I'm trying to get some things done. I'm taking a little walk over here. This is, I'm going to turn this around. This is, it's all under construction. This is my office slash, going to be guest room. But I've got my sewing machine up. That is all full of fabric, as is that one down there. This is a machine I bought. Before I come up here, I waited for it to go on sale. It is a quilting machine. It's got a book on it. Right here. This is the book. And if you look how to learn how to use it. So I'm still learning how to use it, but I have found some material specific that I'm going to be trying to sew some project bags for gifts and giveaways. So anyways, and this is my office. I got a lot of printers. I hope you enjoyed this. There we go, back. I hope you enjoyed the blocking video. I hope it gave you a little bit of information on how to block. I just thought I'd show you on how I block. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now from Deer Island.